Hello, hello. Alright, welcome back to another video. Grab a cup of coffee. I actually just made one. We got some Irish cream creamer in here. And today we're going to take a little bit of a look at the week coming up. This week is actually very, very important. And you might already know what's happening this week. And if not, it's SoFi earnings. And you might be like, well, who cares? Why does anyone care about SoFi earnings? I specifically care because right now I'm sitting at over 6,600 shares of the stock. So how it plays out is probably going to matter to me quite substantially. But before we get started, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. I've been selling options on this channel and talking about my journey, how I'm trying to make it an extra income stream. And if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button. If you like it, please hit the like button as well. That way it reaches more people. If you want a little bit more from me and you want to hang out, I do have a private selling options chat group. You can go check it out. It's linked down below. Please come join, come talk to us. We love to talk selling options. I love to talk selling options. I actually don't make any money off this YouTube channel, to be honest with you. I don't have anything monetized on here yet. I don't have enough watch hours. I have a free hosted web app that I coded and I pay to host this on a server. I don't make any money from this either. That's how much I like selling options. I actually bought this domain as well. So, I mean, you could say I'm in the red when it comes to talking about selling options, but hopefully I'm in the green, and I am in the green when it comes to selling options at least, so that makes up for it. But back to what we originally were talking about, SoFi stock. It has earnings at the beginning of the day on Tuesday. I'm very, very optimistic. I saw a SoFi competitor, if you will, Lending Club, had earnings, I believe, last week, and they actually killed it. They had a really high beat, and the stock from that earnings last week was up 17% for the week. And since I think Lending Club and SoFi operate very similarly in terms of lending people money, that's both of their business models for the most part, I am very optimistic about SoFi as well. I think we're going to hit records in terms of revenue, in terms of members. Hopefully see a lot of cross-selling, because that's ultimately what SoFi tries to do, right? It hones you in and it brings you in for some aspect of what SoFi offers, and then it crosses you over into other aspects of the ecosystem and tries to make money off you in different ways while also helping you out and hopefully giving you a very good product. And because of that, I have been selling a lot of puts that are going to expire right after earnings. I mean, just to name a few, on the 24th, I sold a $26 put that it's expiring next Friday. I made $58 from this one put, another $25.50 put also expiring next Friday. Both of these, by the way, post earnings, right? Because earnings is next Tuesday. This will be after it. That's why I'm making so much in premium from selling these different options that are expiring post earnings. And then what I like to do with the money that I make from selling options, you guys that have watched my videos before are probably getting tired of me saying it, but I like to reinvest it back into my favorite shares and back into my favorite stocks. One of them being obviously SoFi. So that's why I have, and that's what I contribute having so many shares of SoFi stock, is from selling a lot of puts on the stock, being very bullish about the stock, thinking, if it goes below this, I'm willing to purchase 100 shares, but I really don't think it will. And if it does, maybe I'll even roll it, make some more money, and avoid getting assigned the shares. And then I take the premium that I make from selling those options and I put it right back into the stock. So let's look at options that I could theoretically sell tomorrow if I had enough buying power, which I don't. But if I did, I could technically, because earnings is Tuesday, and if I sell an option tomorrow, it'll be prior to earnings, and therefore implied volatility is inflated, and that's why I'm looking at getting more premium for each one of these options that I could sell. So we can see I sold 3 at $26. Let's say I actually sold 3 at the going rate when market closed on Friday, and that's what's sitting at right now. I'd get 56 from each of these. What would be the ROI from selling these 3 tomorrow if things stayed as they appear right now? Well, if you're asking yourself that question about this particular option or other options you're considering selling, go check out my options selling calculator. It's over on selloptions.net. Here you can plug in the numbers of the option that you're thinking about selling or curious about, and it'll tell you what's the ROI from selling that option. So for this one particularly, it's going to expire this coming Friday. The expected premium was $56 Actually, it's 56 cents because it's per share. So it's actually exactly as you see it here in Robinhood. The strike price of the 3 that I sold is a $26 strike price, and I sold 3 contracts. If we calculate this, what we come to expect, $168 total because it's 56 times 3. That's how much premium we'd get from selling these 3 puts. However, what's the ROI in terms of what we get in premium divided by how much money we would need to set aside if we sell this put? Because if you sell a put, you have to put aside collateral in case you get assigned those shares, and Robinhood wants to know that you have the money in case those shares get assigned to you. Because if they get assigned to you and you don't have any money, then that kind of ruins the whole aspect of selling puts, because who's going to end up buying the shares if you don't? And that number in terms of ROI is a 2.15% in 5 days' time. And honestly, for the last year and a half or however long I've been selling options now, I kind of forget, it's been a blur. I have made probably the most trades selling options on Sofi stock than any other stock, and I've also probably made the most in premium selling options on Sofi rather than any other stock. And it's because of numbers like this. I know it's inflated because of earnings this week, but even disregarding earnings, if we were to go to a different time when earnings wasn't a factor, you would still probably see like a 1% or below 1% return, typically for a 5-day expiration option that you were to sell. And then what could you do with this $168? Well, you could go ahead and buy more shares of Sofi. That would be like what, 5 point some shares that you would get from selling these 3 puts and reinvesting it back into the stock. Sadly, I don't think I'm going to end up selling any options on Sofi tomorrow because I don't have any buying power, and I'm not going to bring over other money in order to do so. I'm just going to leave the portfolio as it is. And unless I buy to close an option that I've already sold and free up money that way, I'm just going to let things play out this week and see how earnings goes and then react from there. Of course, I'll make a video when it comes to earnings and how things go, the good or the bad, whatever ends up happening, and what my portfolio looks like after the fact. So stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you in a future video.